Seb,
Yes.
you've been at SOCCEREX, you've been talking about wellness in players and talking about the need for players to communicate when times aren't good, and you've got experience of that yourself. How important is that in the modern game?
I think it's crucial because your career at some point is going to end, and you pick up habits from your days of playing because that you're going to carry for the rest of your life, and you quickly realize that your playing career was short, but you got to live the rest of your life. So for me, it's crucial in terms of the way the game has to develop, the way your life has to develop, because as I said, it's the man that makes the player, it's not the player that makes the man. And what I'm looking for is to build a man, or a human being, man or woman, in the best way as possible, to empower them in order to live the best life as possible.
Do you think it's more difficult than ever with social media? I know you said you went off social media for a few years,
Yeah.
but then you can maybe learn to sort of control the narrative.
Yeah, controlling the narrative for me has been crucial. That's been the part that got me back on social media, to be honest, because I thought that I had lost control. That people were talking and thinking for me on my behalf. Social media, the problem that I have with social media is this constant comparison. As soon as you wake up, people go on social media, so they compare themselves, their success or whatnot, to somebody else, and they're always not focusing on themselves or what they're supposed to be doing in order to get to the next level, to the next step. So that's the downside of social media. But when you do use it well, when you do make the good use of it, I think that's an amazing tool for communication, an amazing tool for your brand, because at the end of the day, players, they are their own brand, and they can advertise that on social media.
I presume it's harder for young players to understand that though, isn't it? Because they've grown up using social media for fun, and then suddenly they're out in the big wide world, aren't they?
Tell me about it. We've got kids, and we realize that that's all they know. They've been exposed to that throughout their whole life. So it's up to us adults that have been in it for a while and without it to spread the word and to come up with tangible solutions, not just talking for the sake of it, but understanding, being a little bit in their world, and try to make a deal, some compromise with them in order for them to get to know the other side as well. At least they're going to have a choice, because at the end of the day, you cannot make the choice for them. We can only give them what we can, the tools to make the better decision.
Now, talking of young players, your old team Tottenham have got a very exciting crop of young players coming through, haven't they?
Yeah.
Mikey Moore, Dane Scarlett.
Oh, yeah.
We saw that game the other way.
Archie Gray, Bergvall. Yeah.
So, you're close to Spurs, you watch them. Just what have you made of the season so far?
Honestly, I feel sorry for them. But on the other side, this is the high level. You cannot go without injuries. They've been hit quite a lot. I think that's been almost a curse onto Spurs. So I reckon and I hope they're going to finish the season on a high, because they got some players back, but not only about the quality of the players, is the whole group. They're going to be able to have more, Ange is going to be able to have more options, on the bench. That's going to give him more flexibility. The competitivity between players is going to come back, which is going to raise the level of the team. And I think Tottenham deserve to be in European places, even though some might not see it. I think in football, as we all said, everything is possible if you go on a good run and things go in your favor. On the opposite side, that he went through them because they've been unlucky. Things didn't go in their favor whatsoever. I think it's time for them to have a bit of luck.
And of course, they're still in the Europa League. It's a reasonably favourable route to the final potentially. They could win that and be in the Champions League. It would be a great season, wouldn't it?
That would be astonishing and amazing. But that would show us that nothing is written in advance in football. There's always different ways. As long as you keep your composure, you stick to your principle, but you can be a little bit adaptable as well at the same time. But stick to your value and principle, and believe in yourself, believing what you've been working on. Because sometimes you might have been working hard for so long, but you don't know when the outcome is going to come. You don't know when the result's going to come. So you got to be patient. And this season, if Tottenham can, pull that one off, I would be so happy. Yeah.
And you talk about sticking to your principles. Ange Postecoglou, he's really stuck to his principles. He has tweaked things from time to time, but the importance for him is playing attacking football, that's what the fans love at Tottenham, isn't it? And you think he's the right man to carry on and see if they can take this project forward?
I reckon he is. You know what? And I'm glad that they stuck with him. The club have, you know, sticked with Ange Postecoglou according to the circumstances. Although he has sticked with principle, I think he's been listening. There's been a learning curve for himself as well, because we all learn. Even though no matter how old you are, you know, how experienced you are, life's always going to teach you a lesson. And he has tweaked few things, bits and bobs, that maybe enabled him to stay, and to the players to have this, you know, capacity to put some result. So I think it's an overall good way to come out of this dark tunnel that they were in. And now, because of that, he came, as we said, you always come back stronger. And in terms of Ange, I think he came back stronger from that.
And just finally, the younger players too, like Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall. It's been a tough start for them, but they'll learn from this, won't they? The experience will be fantastic for them.
I don't think they were expecting to play that many games. You know, they've been
And
thrown.
especially centre back for Archie.
Centre back, which is not his natural position. You know, they've been thrown out in a deep end with no, I don't know, no water wings, nothing. But they managed to, you know, to stay alive and to do even better than that. So what those young players have been achieving, honestly, is tremendous. Honestly, because it's not that easy, especially in a team that is not in crisis, but it's not doing well at all. So they've been playing week in, week out, twice a week, 3 times a week, and you are relying on them. And kudos to Archie Gray. For me, is my, not my surprise, but the level of maturity that he's shown up. And it's like he's behaving and acting up like a almost 28, 29 years old. The composure on the pitch. So there's so many young players that are coming through. So if we do things right, I think there's a bright future at Tottenham Hotspur.
And just quickly on Newcastle, one of your other clubs.
Yeah.
Still a chance. A cup final coming up. Still a chance of top 4. And they've got the man in form, Alexander Isak. How important is it they keep him beyond this summer?
Oh, that's going to be $1 million question. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep him for various reasons, maybe his own desire to see something else. But as in at the moment, what they're doing at the present moment, he is the man in form. And it's only what he deserves it. And Newcastle deserves it. I always mention Newcastle and Spurs as my mum and dad. You know, I can't choose between the two because I got a love for them too. And I'm so glad they're in cup final. They're still, you know, in the race for top 4. They're in and around. It's just the Georgies, they deserve that. The club, for me, this is where they belong. And Alexander Isak, if he can, you know, get the Carabao Cup, you know, 1-0 Newcastle over Liverpool, that'll make me happy.
Fantastic. Thanks, Seb.
You're welcome.
Mum and Dad, I like that.
Yeah.